Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Get Well Soon podcast. Welcome back, I guess. Been at this for a while. I'm your host, Aidan Baker, and I have Monica with me today, Monica Williams, a returning guest. How are
Woo-hoo.
you?
Hi, friends. But I'm doing really good. It's been a great day. I'm feeling good. Work wasn't too crazy. I somehow made it to the gym after work, which, if you know me, I deserve a gold medal because I'm a morning gym girly. So I'm feeling really good, but simultaneously mellow. Like, after the gym, sometimes you're like high energy. I don't know. I'm feeling like Betty time bye bye right now at the
Yeah,
moment, which is a good thing because it's nighttime.
of
How are you
course. No,
though?
I'm good. I To comment on like your gym thing, I feel the same way because I usually go to the gym late. I go at like 9 or like 8:30, 9 o'clock usually.
Yeah.
So it like puts me to sleep. It's like I need to go to the gym basically to like wear myself out to then sleep. And the last couple of weeks I haven't gone to the gym. So I've been like up all night. It's just I have all this energy that I just have not spent that I usually spend working out. And I've just been up late like doing nothing at
I need
all.
to know I'm imagining you, like, running up the walls of your apartment because 'cause you're like, "Crap, I should have went to the gym." So you have to expend that energy somehow. I'm imagining a
No,
lot right now. That is so
No,
funny.
that's actually honestly an accurate image of what it's like. Like Tyler's just like knocked out, and meanwhile I'm in the living room like
Fighting for you.
paranormal activity style, like fighting for my life, like on the walls, on the ceiling.
That is
Yeah.
so sweet. Not sponsored, obviously, but the girls on TikTok are right about the tart cherry juice. For a while,
Mm.
I was, like, having issues with my sleep, not that the listeners asked, but I'd started, like, a birth control, and it was low-key giving me insomnia. And it just turns out I needed some sort of supplement to help with that. I don't like taking melatonin. No hate to her if you love her. But I like taking magnesium. It's just like a healthier sleep aid. But even that wasn't knocking me out. But when I added in the magnesium and the tart cherry juice, I slept like I was just birthed. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic. When I woke up, I felt so well rested, but I was also so confused because my body had gotten so used to waking up in the middle of the night that I was like, what in the world? I thought I woke up in like a new year. I didn't know what was going on. Um, I guess that doesn't sound like a good advertisement, but I say this to say that if you're having trouble falling asleep, tart cherry juice and magnesium go together real bad and they help a lot. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try that. I really think I might have to get into that. But honestly, I'm so glad. Okay, I'm so glad this is like the best segue. So like speaking of TikTok, so Monica and I have been, and I feel like you know what I'm about to talk about. But
Yes.
Monica and I, we send each other TikToks, all the time,
Every
and
day.
we usually, yeah, every day, and we get in like a good groove of like finding just like a funny trend that we just send to each other back and forth.
It's
And
so
I feel like sharing, no, it's like a gift we have. I feel like sharing the latest trend that we have been on is this guy. I think what's his name, like Drew Wells or something like that.
Yes, Drew Wells, my king. I love him. The Target, Virginia Beach, like he's been showing us everything. Like he's like wiping his butt. He's taking a video of it. He's walking into the Target. He's somehow set a tripod up. Like he's holding the workers hostage. Probably. I love it. I eat it up every single time he comes up. I'm rooting. I love Drew Wells so much.
That's the thing. So for context, he does like a day in the life, like get ready with me, like TikToks,
Yes.
and they are exclusively, first of all, soundtracked to Virginia Beach by Drake. Nothing else. That is like the song that plays in the background of every single one of them. And then he does like, I mean, it's literally from him getting dressed to going down, literally everything, skincare, getting in the car, parking the car, getting into Target, picking out his items at the Target run and then checking out like at the cash register. But he's recording all of this by himself, which means the inevitable that he had to like set up a tripod to then record all these clips. But it's
The
like
production of it all and
the yeah.
time. The time that that had to take to do all of that is crazy. It's paying off for him now, but it is crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just like the visual of it is just like blowing my mind. And he's not the only person that does this, but like the people, like the influencers that do, okay, so I'm going to set up this tripod, like get out of my car to do it, set it up at an angle where you can see me backing into a parking space, hit record, get back in my car, back my car in, then get out, go grab my phone and hope it's not been stolen off the tripod. And then later on edit these clips. And it's like the same thing. It's like they do it like leaving the house. So it's like you had to step outside of your house, set up your tripod, leave your house,
Insane.
then come back and get your phone and leave your house to get, like, it's just
I also love that you brought up you have to try not to get your phone stolen, because I saw a video of a girl the other day. I'll see if I can find it and link it to you. She was trying to take some sort of video just outside. Video, it shows a man coming up to her phone, about to take it. The girl obviously fights for her phone. The girl apologizes to the man. I was like, this is what it is existing as a woman. But she apologizes to the man. She's like, sorry. I'm like, you almost just got your phone taken trying to do a get ready with me. When will these stop? This is just a little bit much.
it's
too much.
It is too much. I think
But I eat
it's
it
just
up with him. For some reason, he's allowed to do it, and I eat it up. I don't know why.
oh no, he is. No, Drew Wells or whatever. I'm messing up his last name, but Drew, whoever you are, this is your lane. You own it. Because he, like we just said, he got the ESPN, like ESPN basically did a deal with him, and he did a video for like, get ready with me to watch game day or watch like the NFL game, and he like ate that, got a bag off of that, and then Drake posted like his impersonation of him. Like, you got a Drake cosign and an ESPN deal in the same week after like Twitter clowned you. You won.
I'm a Drewster. I'm a Drewster through and through. Yep. I'm supporting him
Absolutely.
forever. Serious, like that's my man. Like I love him.
I absolutely went and followed the account afterward because I'm like, I respect the hustle.
I was like, wait a minute, I actually stan you. Like, isn't that crazy? First, when I'm not going to lie to you guys, I won't be fake. When I first watched the video, my first thought always when I see these influencer videos was like, this had to take a lot of time.
Yes.
Like, I just watched it and was like, you are going to so many places. I want your level of maybe lack of embarrassment. I don't know the right word for it, but I would just be so, maybe because I'm such an anxious being too, I would be so on edge if I was like having to set up a tripod in Target and like look at different candles, or like I'm getting to like the checkout lane and I'm like, oh, hold on 1 second before you check me out, setting up my tripod. Are you kidding me? I would actually rather chew nails. I would rather swallow a jean jacket. I would rather walk on a runway of Legos. Like everything about that is just a little bit much for me. And maybe that's why I like Drew, because he's doing what I could never do. I could genuinely never record those TikToks. So good.
Oh, 100%. No, that's I think what, at the end of the day, that's what got me, is like, you're so brave.
Same.
And the embarrassment is a construct mindset is so, I applaud it. I don't have it, but I applaud it.
No, he took that phrase not with a grain of salt. He took that phrase and he made it his mantra. He does not believe in embarrassment, and I support him for that, because you know what? It's not real, because like you said, sponsored by ESPN, Drake's reposting him. Maybe embarrassment isn't real, guys. It's not real.
Honestly, fake it till you make it. Like he faked it all the way to the bank. Like
no, but actually, like he's giggling all the way to the bank. People are giggling in his comments, probably jobless, and he's giggling all the way to the bank right now. Like that's actually crazy.
No, that's the bottom line. It's like, at the end of the day, he got a bag.
Period.
And we didn't stop his bag. Not that we were trying to, but we just simply did not and could not have stopped his bag.
We're Drewsters. We'd never stop his bag.
Okay. We're on the bandwagon at this point.
I'm riding the wave. Honestly, I'm riding the wave. I can't help it.
Okay. No, swear. Also, I mean, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that Ariana Grande is back. Hello.
Gagged. No, when I tell you I'm so gagged, it's not even funny. Every time I listen to the song, I hate being one of those, it gets better every listen. It genuinely does get better every listen. I notice a different part of the beat every single time. I can't help but dance when I hear it. Like when I hear it, you would think I'm like in La La Land, High School Musical or something, because I start just like moving around my room. Like I can't listen to it in public. I can only listen to it at the gym when there's nobody there, or when I'm in my room. Because if I'm on the bus, I'm going to jam. I'm going to bop my head. I can't help it. It's so good. The bopability of it all. I'm so here for us bringing back house music. It's so good. I know that you agree with me because you love Ariana down as well. So.
Oh, 1000%. I agree. And I'm not gonna lie. Was I nervous when I saw the tweets that were like, oh, the new singles, like heavily interpolating Vogue and it's a house song? I'm like, okay. Because I don't know, like obviously we've heard the sound that she
We have.
likes and we've heard the music that she's made so far. So I was like, I don't know how she's gonna sound on a house track. Anything I've ever heard with Ariana on house has been like a TikTok remix, which I'm like, of course it sounds good because you're mixing it. But I'm like, how's she really gonna? And oh, the beat is hot.
It's
Full stop.
Like the nerve of her to release it while it's cold is crazy because if if she released this in the summer, oh my god. First of all, I'm still gonna be streaming the heck out of it. Don't ever get it twisted. But if she released this in the summer, y'all would have to hate me because
Oh
I
yeah.
would be at a bar going insane. The DJ would hate me because I would be like, please play Yes and please play Yes. I would be so annoying. But no, I agree. She
Oh
ate
yeah.
on this one. I'm so excited for the album. It's like actually all I can think about. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. No, I can't wait. It's coming out March 8th. The single right now is called Yes and. For those of you who haven't heard it, just go tap in. Like, I'm sorry, the song is just fun. It's like it's so fun. And I was having this conversation with you, Monica, and our friend Mason, our best friend Mason. I said our friend Mason, like y'all know who he is at this point.
Hello.
Like wake that up, like hello, you know him.
Turbo.
This year, like, and this is actually going to be a really good segue to take us into like our topic for today, but like this year, like, let's just have fun. Can we just have fun? Like, I saw a tweet. It was like someone said 2024 is the new 2014. And you know what? I think I'm gonna cling to that mantra because
Yeah.
2014 was a very unserious year because everything was fun. Why can't we just like get back to having fun? Like, I understand.
Music, you know?
Yeah, everybody wants to be a critic. Everybody has their opinions. Whatever, that's fine. But can we just like be quiet sometimes and have fun? Like, that's, to me, that's how I felt like listening to this song.
Yes.
I went and saw, like, recently I saw Mean Girls and I saw Anyone But You, two very unserious, fun movies. And I had a blast. I wasn't worried about the acting. I wasn't worried about I had fun. I laughed. I smiled. I had fun.
Yes.
That needs to be the vibe for this year. Can we please stick to fun
I could
as
not
best as we can?
agree more. I could not agree more. And I love that you brought up movies too. Like, I'm excited for more fun art, fun music. I think for some reason people have gotten so obsessed with like, if I can't critically analyze this song, then it's nothing. Like, it's not a bop. The song has to have a story. Like, no, maybe the story is I want to go out with my friends and get drunk and like have fun and head bop around. Like, it doesn't always have to be this big, deep thing. So, you know what? I'm glad we're going back into the fun and playful era. I'm excited for the 2014 2.0.
Let's run it back.
Let's run that back, Turbo.
Like, yeah, for sure. But also for those of us who are freshmen or eighth graders, like in 2014, we don't have to run everything back. Just the vibes.
Just the vibes, please.
Because I see you. Because I know there's people out there like heard me say 2014 is the new 2044 and winced a little bit. I fully understand. That was an awkward time for all of us, but it was fun. Just focus on the fun.
So fun. And some of us just didn't care. We were just like so fun and playful. Bring that energy back.
Of course. Which, like I said, segues us into like the bigger topic for today, which is the idea of your inner child. And where I kind of like landed on this was thinking about like adulting and fun. They don't always intersect. Full stop. Like, there's just some times where being an adult is like, why I didn't sign up for this, and can I get a break?
Yes.
Right. And it's like I just paid my taxes, and like, granted, like it was not I paid $1 in taxes and got nothing back. Like, there's something so
that's very
I almost, and I know there's like some people that are gonna hear this and think I'm ridiculous. I almost wish it was more, because then it'd be justified. Like, okay, fine,
like,
I owe you. Okay, fine, but like $1.
No,
there are how many Americans? 300 million, 360 something million Americans, and you wanted me to pay $1? Uncle Sam is crazy. Like,
I just wanted to be silly with you a little bit. He was like, "Let's get silly." He said,
No,
"Y'all
he
want to
really
be
did.
so bad this year? Let's get silly."
No, he really did. I was like, no, see, because I tried to get funny and the government got hilarious. So I guess they won.
That should be the catchphrase of our nation. If we have a slogan, it should be that. I tried to get funny, so the government got hilarious.
No, honestly, that's life as an American in the simplest terms. I try to get funny and the government got hilarious. At the end of the day, they got the last laugh. They giggled in my face. They cackled. Not a giggle, they cackled like ugly laugh in my face. But I was just mostly thinking about the fact that like as I get older and as life becomes more complex, how do how do you take care of your inner child? And what exactly is your inner child? Because it's something that I think we say a lot just in passing, but don't really understand like what it actually is.
For sure.
I don't know how many times I've done something and be like, oh, my inner child's so happy, or like that like fed my inner child. But it's like there's your inner child is a genuine, real thing that like psychologists have researched, and it's like something that you actually need to nurture and take care of, and is really like an embodiment of who you are, manifests itself in a lot of interesting ways. And so I read this article from verywellmind.com. Shout out to them. And it basically said, you can think of your inner child as who you were during an important time in your life, someone you may have lost touch with despite their importance to you. However, the relationship with the inner child is different than the relationships you might have with others you've lost touch with. It's basically who you were growing up,
Yeah.
like manifested into a persona of yours, or like a part of you that you need to like maintain and keep. Um, and it was a concept that was introduced by this psychologist named Carl Jung, and it basically can drive many of our emotions in daily life, especially when we're unaware of it. So, for example, like if you were late to work, it could lead to like feeling this like unreasonable concern that you might be publicly shamed or like chastised or fired, despite having like perfect attendance and flawless reviews like prior to that. Or it's like if you have a person that has experienced like an unstable home environment where they were continually shamed or yelled at or like even like abused for a small mistake or something like that, that then feeds into like this idea of like perfection, or that you need to maintain perfect attendance or like not make a mistake or always be healthy and show up to work and stuff like that. So I just thought that was really interesting because it's much more nuanced and complex than I think we really like give your inner child credit to being. And it's really important to like maintain a healthy relationship with your inner child. So
For
I'm
sure.
gonna I'm gonna pass this question to you though.
Okay.
How would you, I guess, like how is your inner child or having a good relationship with your inner child like important to you?
Yeah, so kind of like what you said, the inner child, I feel like it shapes who we are. It shapes how we feel about certain things. I know a lot of people in the spiritual community are into like astrology and attachment styles, and all those stuff are very interesting to me as well. But I feel like inner child healing definitely is super important in that way because even with attachment styles, I mean, we get the attachment styles we do because of how we were brought up as children. And another thing I like that you brought up was shame, because that was something I wanted to talk about too. I feel like a lot of the times how we were shamed in our childhood, even if it was in small ways, can definitely affect how we end up being. I mean, I know it with myself personally. When I mess up on something at work, no matter how little or big, I have a really bad habit of letting it ruin my day. And that's something I've been working on and trying to, with different inner child prompts, actually try to kind of get to the nail on the head of why do I like beat myself up so much over this, even when my manager and my coworkers are like, hey, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm like making it bigger. So I think definitely shame is a huge thing and something that we all really need to work on. I think if we can let go of, obviously it's good to have a healthy level of shame. Don't get it twisted, guys. Over small things, if we can learn to like let go of that, that's also a step in hopefully like healing our inner child. I think other things that are super important to me when it comes to my inner child is just like having patience with myself. I know a lot of people when they think inner child healing, they're usually like, oh, this person must have came from like a bad home or something, but it's not always that. Like sometimes you can have two really great parents that maybe unintentionally put some perfectionist ideals onto you. That doesn't make them bad people or good people, but it is something that you need to work on because, I mean, perfectionism is nothing to strive for. It's okay for things not to be absolutely perfect. It sounds weird, but I was actually in a pottery class, like going off on so many tangents, but I was in a pottery class a couple weeks ago and I'll show it to you later. But basically, if any of you have ever been on wheel, I was trying to make a bowl straight, but for some reason my hand like ridged one way and I made like a little spiral in my bowl. My teacher could see I was visibly upset. And it was taking everything in me not to cry in the class, even though that would be something so small to someone else. To me, it was big because I was like, oh my God, I messed up on this thing. Like, I was super excited about it, blah, blah, blah. And then that teacher came over to me and was just like, hey, like, this looks really cool. Like, you can actually make this into a theme. So, and I'll show Aidan. So maybe y'all can see later. He can add it in photos or whatever. But I actually ended up making a bunch of like little spiral bowls and they ended up being cuter than I thought they would. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I say all that to say like healing your inner child isn't something that should be done alone either. I think it's super important to like connect with people. I know when I first started getting into just like being more spiritual and like healing my inner child and such, I felt like I was going at it alone. But the truth is, it's really good to try to get out there and connect with friends like we're doing today, or connect with mentors or whatever, and just like, I don't know, see if there's different ways that you could tackle that. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like, well, first of all, the fact you turn lemons into lemonade, like with your bowls, I think that's so cute. But I also think that's great. And like you're actively doing things that I think you're catering to what your inner child like
Yeah.
missed out on or like needed, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like that's I think almost like having those bowls, whether you like intended to do this or not, like you have a visual way of seeing like, okay, even when like I make a mistake, I can turn it into something. And it's not
Yeah.
always a mistake. Sometimes it's like a detour or a shift of like focus, right?
Yeah.
So that's like really good to have and really good to like carry with you. I think that's awesome. And one of the things that you said that resonated with me is like having parents that can be great parents, but sometimes just make mistakes that still
Alter you.
contribute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think most directly about like parents that really at their core obviously want the best for their children and want their children to excel, but sometimes are always worried about like, okay, what's next? And
Yes.
that's something that we just as humans, innately do. We're always kind of thinking about what's the next thing, what's the next goal, and not being, present and sitting with like our current victories and like things we are doing well. And like particularly in school, because that's very easy. It's like you got an A on whatever test or whatever homework, but now you have to think about the next assignment or you have to think about the next, piece of work. And if your parents are, reinforcing that idea of like continuing to be great and be great, and it's like, okay, you got an A minus, well, where's the A? You got an A, where's the A plus, etc. That
Yeah.
can like, have this same kind of effect that we've been talking about where the slightest bit of underperformance, quote unquote, can feel like a complete failure.
Yeah.
And that
Or
takes a lot to like unlearn and rework through.
for sure. And like only kind of like what you said, only being rewarded when you do excel at something. I think that's something I was actually talking with my friend who's in grad school because she's kind of like studying different ways that we can be better in homes with people of color. Kind of just like taking care of them and looking at it from more of a holistic perspective. She's super cool. We could offline that. But basically, we were just kind of talking about how when we have children, something I want to do is not just praising them when they're doing really well or when they do really well at something, just kind of praising them for existing, to be honest, because that is kind of a flex. You know what I mean? Like, that's a flex enough. They don't have to be getting all these gold medals and stuff. And that's something I kind of wish I had been told when I was younger. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think that's great. And I think it kind of brings this interesting concept. So another part of the article that I read was this like idea of reparenting. It's like a
Mhm.
term, and it's like one of the kind of primary ways to take care of your inner child and like work to heal your inner child. But basically, it's your the goal is to care for and like give that validation and love to your inner child that you may not have gotten when you were, actually a child when you were younger. And like filling in the cracks and like unapologetically giving yourself that self-love and affirmation and nurturing that you can still heal with and need. And I thought that was interesting, like this idea of like reparenting yourself, because there are a lot of situations where, and you kind of have to become your own parent in a lot of ways and govern yourselves in like a way, particularly when you're an adult and you're living on your own. And even if you're, living with a partner, or you're living with a roommate, like
Yeah,
your parents are going to be there for you, but there's still there's still an element of like self-care that you have to take.
for
And
sure.
so I just think labeling it as reparenting can sometimes feel daunting because it's like, oh, am I like offending my parents by saying I'm like reparenting myself, or am I like, are you having like sometimes I have that debate in my head. It's like, oh, is this like being disrespectful to my parents, like because I'm changing up this thing that I'm doing for myself? Is it like indirectly like alluding to the fact that my parents were bad parents? And it's like, no, not that. Like two things can be true at the same time. That like your parents provided a lot for you and took care of you, but there's still things that you need now in life that you didn't get before. And so I really think that's just one of the interesting things that I pulled from the article. It's like something that I think whether we consciously label it reparenting or not, we are doing that by loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves. And
Yes.
like you're filling in like those gaps, I guess.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I think
But
that's super interesting. And it's like, it's important to reparent so then you can have more patience with yourself. And also, I feel like in a way, it's helpful for us to reparent for our parents because then when we're maybe kind of setting boundaries with them, we feel a little bit more comfortable about it. I mean, that's something I've had to do when I go home, not to call out my parents, love them the most. But there's just like some little things that now that I live on my own, and I guess you can say I have kind of reparented myself, that I feel like are just non-negotiables. And I think that just as we're supposed to respect our parents should respect us too. So
yeah,
yeah, parenting is very important.
of course, 100%. And like that's just one of like many ways to heal your inner child. I mean, one of the other things they mentioned was meditation.
Mhm.
Self dialogue is huge. Almost like writing a letter to your younger self, which I want to try. I haven't done that,
You should
but
do
I
that.
there's it's like a very effective journaling technique. I've written letters to several people that like either are no longer in my life or that I've lost or like grown apart from, and that tends to be very therapeutic. So I can imagine doing that same thing for yourself would be just as helpful and impactful. And so that's, good to work with as well. Verbal affirmations are good.
Mhm.
Journaling, like I said, um, photos, which I think is really interesting. So like photos in the sense of like coupling the verbal affirmations and the dialogue with like a childhood photo of yourself and just like sitting and like talking to your younger self. It's like if you walk into the
Well,
room no context, you might look crazy.
you might
But
look
it's
crazy,
fine.
but you will cry.
You will cry. You will
You will.
cry. I mean, like I probably would, but it's little things like that are helpful. And if anyone wants to take away those as suggestions, be my guest. But the last one that I really appreciated, and I think comes to mind when most of us think about like taking care of our inner child, is making time for play,
Mhm.
which like can look like anything. But particularly in a world where we're working more
Mhm.
and at a younger age we're working more and we're working harder and there's more that's asked of us as young adults, and we work to fill our time outside of work with other things that can sometimes feel like work. Like making time for something that is just like purely stress-free play is so important. And when you think about like as a kid, recess is a super important time, and you know kindergarten, elementary school, preschool, whatever. Because physically at that age, you need a brain break and you need to be able to go out and like, you know, use some energy and
Yeah.
just be like free
Not think for
for
that moment. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like we still need that as adults. Whether we want to acknowledge that or not, like breaks are so necessary. Whatever
And
that looks like.
not just lunch break.
Of course. Of course. So I just thought that was really interesting. And then that brings me to a question I want to ask you. How do you make time for play for your inner child, like in your life?
Oh my God, I love this question. So I feel like recently I've been going back to hobbies that I really liked when I was younger. For instance, reading. I just got back into it last year, which sounds crazy to be like, I just got back into reading. Um, if any listeners are in college, you will know, or maybe you're better than me, but in college, I just couldn't read for fun. I didn't have it in me. I was more focused on hanging out with my friends at the time, finishing my classes, and of course, graduating. So once I did graduate and I had like a little bit more time to myself, I got back into reading. It's easily one of my favorite things to do. I have a very imaginative mind. I just always have. So it's just nice to read. And it's also kind of nostalgic because I remember like being younger and I would be like reading and my grandpa would be like, you need to turn those lights out, girl. And I'd be like, I'm finishing my book. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like funny and nostalgic, which another hobby of mine that is a little bit nostalgic is baking. I used to bake with my grandpa all the time when I was younger. So I've been getting back into that too. And it's super therapeutic. You just throw some music on, you start baking. Or if cooking's more your jam, that's cool too. Something else. Oh, I just started ballet classes, which for the listeners, I did ballet for 8 years when I was younger. I stopped around high schoolish time, but I just started it and it's amazing. It already feels super nostalgic too. Like it's a very beginner class. The class is called Absolute Beginner Ballet.
Okay, that the absolute is a bit like crazy. Like, why would they say absolute begin?
Isn't it kind of like a little bit rude? No shade to Ballet Austin if you're listening. But it's an absolute beginner class. I love her down though. I love the class. But yeah, no, that's really fun. And then something else. I've never been really good at drawing, but I've always really, really loved art. So I've been really into museum hopping for the past year too. And that's been really cool. But I think when you're getting back into play, it's cool to add in new hobbies. Like, for example, I did pottery last year, which is so far out of my range. But after I did the class, I was like, whoa, that was really cool. And I've thought about maybe taking a class to learn an instrument or something. Will I be great at it? Probably not. Will it still be fun? Heck yes. So I think part of play is like either taking on hobbies that maybe you did while you were younger, because then you kind of get that warm, fuzzy feeling, or maybe hobbies that you wanted to do while you were younger but you weren't able to, or just all around something completely new. But play is up to you. It's however you want to like play around and have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your hobbies that you're
Oh
doing?
my goodness. Well, specifically for like, I guess for like play,
Mhm.
um, my dad sent me a DJ set, like turntables. Dad, I love you. You sent me some of the craziest stuff in the mail, but look, I love you for it. But he sent me. It was so funny because it was like one of those random things. It was like he was looking at DJ sets on like Sweetwater, and was like, "Would you want one?" And I think I like jokingly said I'd want one for like my birthday, and then in the middle of July, it ended up at my doorstep. So I have a DJ set, and that was something that like I don't talk about it because I'm not good at DJing by any stretch. It's just fun. I just feel like when I get in a flow, I'm okay. But I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna show up to your party and like,
I
give you like boiler room Catronata. Like it's not gonna be that.
was about to say it. I was going to say, okay, Kate Trinata. Like, I can kind of see you boiler rooming it out. I would be the girl in the back, like, going crazy.
That's a whole nother. I feel like quick sidebar. I feel like we could do a whole podcast on just like the Catronata boiler room set. It's
Easy.
like a it's like a study of human nature and the human experience
Yes.
just in itself. But I'm not at that level of DJing. But it's just something that I did. When did I get? I got turntables. I want to say I was like maybe 14, 13, and I had them and I would just mix, and it was just fun because I've always loved music. I haven't really known how to apply my love for music because like I was in choir for a while. I like had a banjo and a electric guitar that I never learned how to play. but I had them and I would just like
So to see
tinker
you
with
like
them.
going crazy on the electric guitar or the banjo. Honestly, either or.
Honestly, if I had learned the banjo, I would have taken it to college, and that probably would have like I probably would have like gone viral for something. I just feel like I could have
You
spun
would've.
that.
You,
I could have
you,
spun that into a bag, and I didn't do it. But
yeah,
that's
you should.
okay. That's okay. But
Not,
but but
not too late.
it's never too late.
Never too late.
But I love DJing, and I'll just like mix for myself, and I like sometimes I'll transition like really well, and I'll like
Okay.
I'll like jump like how like when a DJ like drops a beat at like a concert and they back up off the turntable and they're like dancing and they're like or they cut the sound of like sing this and you know what I'm saying like
You'd
that's
be
me
such a
and
cute DJ. I could like actually see you like boiler rooming it out. Stop. That'd be so cute.
I would love to do that at one point. I feel like that's like next for me later
And
in
you have
life at
such
some
good
point.
music taste. Like I love what you said about like applying your love of music into something. And I could so see you DJing somewhere, like at a
Yeah,
little I'm excited for this. Might have
I
to fly
hope
to
so.
now.
Honestly, pull up. That'll be my thing. DJ set coming soon. Soon is really really TBD.
It's
But
with
soon with an asterisk that's like indefinite soon like but I love that, and it also like forces me to listen to like new music because
yeah.
the thing that in a DJ's world from my like very novice understanding is like what unites songs is like BPM. So like when you can listen to a song and be like, oh, this tempo kind of matches this, you don't really listening for like instruments, you're listening for like the beat. So it's like forced me to like listen to other genres and see like where like sounds can mesh and stuff like that. I don't know. It's been fun. So
Oh
that's
my
that's one thing I do for play that I think is probably the most enriching thing. One that just like I do that probably is melting my brain is just video games. There's so many games like there's so many video games that I have that like I used to play when I was a little kid that I have made a resurgence in my life. A lot of like racing games that I'm just like diving back into from when I was like in my like early teens, like middle school age. Um,
god.
but yeah, those do a lot of good for me. And I'll also watch like old shows and old movies from my childhood that were like staples, and just laugh, and it's the best. So
Of
that's what
course.
I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I definitely, and I'm gonna punt this question to you after I answer it, but I definitely want to try this like idea of reparenting, but from a like introspective kind of point of view through like the journaling and stuff like that and like
Mhm.
writing a letter to my younger self. I feel like that I there'd be a lot that I could uncover from doing that because I haven't done that
Yeah.
before. And I feel like that'd be really interesting. But yeah, of the things that we've talked about today, is there anything you think you'd want to try like in this journey of like healing your inner child?
Oh my God, yes, for sure. I mean, I think I definitely want to get into the writing a letter to yourself. I've done the having a baby photo of yourself and saying affirmations. And if anyone knows me, I am a Cancer sun and Cancer moon. I'm a very emotional person. So when I do things like that, the water do be coming out of my eyes. So I would like to do the write a letter to myself one just because I've done different journal prompts and it's nice to like follow a prompt in freehand or whatever. But I think I need stream of consciousness, full letter to myself, like, hey, baby girl, I love you. You got this. You're amazing. But kind of just like pointing out actual things, like pinpointing things like, hey, this happened. Wasn't cool, but it's okay. Like, I'm here for you type thing. Definitely that. Definitely, I still have things to work on when it comes to reparenting. I know I said earlier that I set my boundaries with my parents, which I do, but some things are still a little bit harder. I come from a very religious family, which I'm religious as well, but I'm what some may call like a lukewarm Christian. So like I'm just not as judgmental as most people. So that's something I'm still working on, parenting, reparenting myself so I can get more comfortable setting even more boundaries with my parents for when I come home in a nice way, not in like a you need to do this better way. So yeah, definitely that. I love all the stuff that you gave. I think it was great. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. No, because your perspective is so important, and like I thought about this topic and I was like, immediately, Monica needs to come talk about this because I just feel like this is something that even like indirectly we've alluded to all these things and talked about all these things, and
For sure.
like you're very in tune with yourself and very self-aware and very introspective, and I envy you for that, and I like love that you're so you know
No.
just like in the know with how you're feeling. And so I just felt like this was something that you would have a really good perspective on and a lot of great things to share, which you did, of course. I
Well,
wasn't, no surprise there at all. But like this has been great and like super
good.
informative just from your end for sure.
Well, thank you. And just, ignorance is bliss. Like being self aware all the time is not fun, but there's ways to be self aware and still be playful, guys. So don't worry. But I did have a couple journal prompts that I wanted to share. I can send them to you too, Aiden, so that you can link them. But I'll
Yeah,
just read them out in case people are listening.
please do.
Uh, so these were three I remember that I used and that I found that I was like taking up the whole page whenever I used them. So I'll just list out 1 through 3. But one was, what did you love to do as a kid? 2 was, is there anything you did as a kid that you're avoiding? And then 3 was a 3-parter, so get ready. But it was, as a child, was there anything that you felt deprived of? How is that impacting you now? And how can you give that to yourself now? So if y'all want a journey on getting a little bit more introspective, I feel like those questions definitely helped me a lot. And there's a bunch of prompts online too, so y'all can follow.
Yeah,
But yeah.
those are spot on. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely like I was just like I was starting to think about all those as you were like listing them off. I definitely want to go like tackle a couple of those. That's awesome.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
Healing your inner child is fun, guys. I swear it's not all sad stuff. It's good stuff.
No, it really is. And I think one of the to encapsulate kind of everything we talked about, the big takeaway that I found from like my research and just from thinking about this and that I hope you all are taking away too is that like your inner child is not just a concept, but it's a person, it's a part of you.
Yeah.
So if you treat it as someone that you need to take care of and should take care of and nurture, hopefully that will change your perspective on like the importance of really having a relationship with your inner child, because it did for me. I just thought of it as kind of a rhetorical phrase or just a like a catch all term for doing something that gives you nostalgia, but really it's deeper than that. It's like really feeding a part of you that's super integral to how you are emotionally, relationship wise, from a communication standpoint,
Mhm.
and basically being the best ally to yourself that you can be. It's just a different way of labeling it and interacting with it. So if you really lean into the fact like your inner child is with you and will always be with you and is a version of you that you should, you know, nurture and keep a connection and a relationship with, then all good things can come from that, and lots of discovery and healing and tears and happiness, but it's all for the betterment. So
Mhm. I'm co-signing. I'm so serious. I agree with all that. Co-signed. You said some real stuff right there.
stamped, co-signed. It's giving Drew. It's giving
Bye.
it's giving
Full circle.
that's so for like, you just wrapped that up perfectly. It's giving Drake and Drew.
Drink and drink.
I love it. Well, Monica, thank you as always for stopping by and sharing your perspective and your wisdom on the pod. This has been a blast as always.
Oh my God. Literally anytime. Love you.
I
Love you.
love you down. Like,
I'm so down. Like, everyone's like, oh God, you're the love fest.
no,
But I do. I really do.
no, literally. At the end, but it's like that's me and Monica. At the end of every interaction we have, we turn into like two like drunk "I love you" people. It's like, no, I love you
We're
so much.
sober.
Like you don't understand. Like I love you so much.
And we're always sober, guys. That's the worst part.
Like stone cold sober. Like would pass like 20 breathalyzer tests back to back to back. Like it's not even a joke at this point.
We're like, we
Oh
wish
my
y'all were drunk to explain how gushy y'all are right now.
okay, if we were just think about it now how we are sober. If we were drunk,
Even worse. Oh my God,
All
shut
right.
the shit down, truly. Too much love in that room. Shut the plates down.
Oh my goodness. Well, again, thank you for coming onto the pod and chatting, and thank you everybody for listening. I appreciate it, and thank you for watching too. If you're on YouTube, which this is our first YouTube recording, which is super exciting and something that I said I was going to do this year and have held myself to. So, boom! How about that for some accountability?
Boom.
But seriously. I need my sound effect board. We talked about this last time. I talked about it with somebody on the pod, but I need a sound effect board.
You really, really do. That'd be
Like
so silly.
I need a Queen Radio sound effect board bad.
Please, I'm begging, please, the next episode, I better hear like crazy sounds going on.
No, I really need it. You know, it's so funny. I mean, it's okay. It's probably gone now because we've moved out of my childhood home like years ago. But I had you remember the remote from iCarly, the
Yes.
blue remote.
Yes.
They like released a toy version of it, and I had it. It was in Target, bought it in Target. I had it. I literally should have kept it because I could have hit you with the random dancing or the applause button. It would have been crazy. It would have gone berserk. But
No,
alas,
we wouldn't have gotten through the episode because I would have been giggling the whole time. But
yeah, no, it would have been the most unserious thing to ever happen.
it goes with the theme. It goes with the theme.
It does. It does. It does. A childhood memory to really round it out.
Period.
We keep wrapping this up and keep trying to unwrap it, but let's wrap it up. But thank you. Seriously, thank you everybody for listening. And I will catch you all in the next episode. So get well soon. See you later.